snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys! So I am here today to do my September wrap up, and I actually managed to read a whole load of stuff in September. It was a crazily good reading month for me. It averaged out that I finished a book a day, so I'm gonna say that I actually managed to finish 29 books and 2 full-length graphic novels and 5 single issues, so I'm pretty proud of that, I must say. I'm gonna whiz through this. I'm gonna quickly say the rating for the lower ones, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more detail about the ones I loved, but there will be reviews for all of these coming very soon. I had one DNF this month, and that one was this. It was What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours by Helen Oyemi. Unfortunately for me, I don't know what it was about this. I was reading it in Diverseathon, it just didn't gel with me. I ended up DNFing it. Oh well. Sadly, just not one for me. I'm still going to try her novels because I think her novels might be more my thing, but in short story form it was just too weird and it just didn't gel with me at all, so sadly DNF that one. After that things got better because everything from then on is a 2-star and up, so that's like okay and up to really fantastic. First thing for 2 stars is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. If you want to know more about this, go and listen to the Magical Space Pussycats podcast where we talk in detail about this one. Pretty awesome to rip apart into shreds because none of us particularly felt too kindly towards it, so that's all I'll say. Go check it out, I'll link it below. The next one I gave 2 stars is Strangewise, Tales and Curiosities, and this one was sent to me for review. I also gave Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami 2 stars. Tooth Goblins by Ash Toroyd got 3 out of 5 stars. The Fox and the Star by Coralie Bickford Smith also got 3 out of 5 stars. I gave We by Yevgeny Zamyatin 3 out of 5 stars. Lagoon by Nenedia Korafor I gave 3 out of 5 stars. The Providence of Fire by Brian Staveley I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I listened to this on audio. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the graphic novel, 3.5 out of 5 stars from me. Of the Sand and Malice Made by Bradley Beaulieu, I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. The One in a Million Boy by Monica Wood, which was the Book Buddy Box book for the month of September, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Children of the Different, which I listened to on audio, I gave 3.5. Human Acts by Han Kang, which I read for Diverseathon, I gave 3.5. Manners and Mutiny, which is book 4 in the Finishing School series, got 3.5. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which I listened to on audio, I gave a 3.5 stars. I might have got more out of it if I had the actual book, but I really liked the narration, so I gave it a 3.5, and I want to go see the film because the film looks really cool. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, I gave 3.5 stars. Labyrinth Lost, which I listened to on audiobook, I gave 3.5 stars. Waistcoats and Weaponry, which is book 3 in the Finishing School series, I gave 4 out of 5 stars to. Low Volume 1 also got a 4 out of 5 stars from me, as did issue 1, 2, 3 of May, which is a new graphic novel series that's starting up. Issue 4 of May got a 3.5. I finally read Ender's Game and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars and I really enjoyed it, so I had a lot of fun doing a buddy read of this with Charlotte. I picked up this novella in September and I actually read it in September, and it is Cold Forge Flame by Marie Brennan. I think all of the Tor novellas I've read so far have been really good. The Magical Space Pussycats pick for September was the Octavia Butler book Kindred, and I really enjoyed this. It was definitely so original and had some great concepts and really dealt with and discussed slavery in America in some great ways, so I want to talk a lot more about this, and we will be doing so in our next episode of the Magical Space Pussycats, so definitely keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. It will be coming soon. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars overall. I read The Singing Bones by Sean Tan, which is an illustrated book to do with Grimm fairy tales and his interpretation of the Grimm fairy tales in clay and different sculptural forms that are quite nomadic and quite tribal. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. The artwork within this is exceptionally beautiful. Some of them are incredibly creepy, some of them are beautiful, some of them are startling. I just think it's fantastic, and I have currently lent this one to my mum so that she can read it, and my grandma's already read some of it and we all absolutely loved it, so I would highly recommend anything Sean Tan brings out, really. He's pretty great and I love his stuff, and I gave this one a 4.5. I also discovered an entirely new series and an entirely new YouTube channel called The Bottled Imp, and the presenter of that channel is Ken Boyter, who writes this book, The Legends of Grimace Ironblood. I really loved this. It was super funny. It has quirky kind of caricature illustrations throughout, and it's all told in verse, and it definitely plays on tropes of the fantasy genre. I gave it a 4.5. I'm very hopeful that the next one in the series will be coming out sometime soon because I really enjoyed this, so definitely one I'd recommend, especially if you want to support self-published authors, because I'd never heard of him before, but he got in contact and he offered it to me, and it was really, really great. So next, I read A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki, which is a story about a young girl in Japan, and she's writing about her very, very troubled life, and then a young woman who is off the coast of Canada who discovers her diary and finds out about her and is moved by her story. It was incredibly heartbreaking and moving, and I found a real connection with the characters, and I really, really enjoyed this, even though it is something a little bit different from what I normally read. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'll definitely be picking up some more of her books. The next one I read was An Unrestored Woman by Shobha Rao, and I read this as part of Diverseathon, and I adored it. I fell in love with the stories. It's about women in Pakistan and India, and it mostly focuses on the women and their struggles and their hardship, but also on their bravery and the way that they overcome these horrible things that happen to them. And I really, really loved it, so I gave it a 4.5. Speaking of short story collections, I also have The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu, which I loved. I hadn't read any Ken Liu before this, and it was a great way to kind of get into his stuff. So many of the stories within this were utterly fantastic. I gave out a lot of 5 stars, a lot of 4, and so this ended up being a 4.5 star book for me. It was just fantastic overall, and I had a great time reading it, and I would hugely recommend checking this one out. I actually read one of the books I got given for my birthday, and that is this one, Harry Potter, The Artifact Vault by Jodie Revenson. I was gifted this one by Eleanor from Eleanor Reads Books. It's a book all about the behind the scenes, the making of Harry Potter films, and it mostly focuses on the props specifically and how they did loads of the special effects and whether they were computer generated or actually physically made. Turns out most of them are physically made. Really, really interesting book, absolutely fascinating, and I really enjoyed it, so I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And finally, I have 2 5-star books, which were my utter favourites of the month, although there are so many 4.5 stars and 4 stars that I would hugely recommend you check out. But these 2 are the ones that most stood out to me for very different reasons. The first one is this one. It is Caraval, and it's by Stephanie Garber. This doesn't come out till January, so I'm afraid you guys have a little bit of a wait, but I would say add it to your wish list because, oh my goodness, I did not think I would fall in love with this as much as I did, but I completely fell in love with it. I was captivated by the magic. It's a world where everyone lives on these different islands, and there's this mysterious caraval, which is essentially like a circus type thing, and it's run by a man named Legend, who no one has ever seen before. And when you go to the caraval, you don't really know what's going to happen, but anything is possible and nothing is true. And you have to kind of navigate around all of these deceptive, nasty people and nice people, and no one is really who they seem to be. Nothing is as it seems, and it's such a great story for that. It also deals with abuse, and it deals with some heavier topics really, really well. It's a light story, it's quick, it's easy to get into, but it deals with these heavier topics too, and I really enjoyed that, and I would hugely, hugely recommend checking this out if you want a fun, really exciting start to what promises to be a great series. I cannot wait for the second one. I'm already dying for the second one, and it's not even out yet, so I've got a bit of a wait, but oh man, I loved this. I had a fantastic time reading it, and I would hugely recommend you guys check it out too. And the final one, my best book of the entire month, I think, because I cried whilst reading this a lot, and that is I Am Malala, and it's just fantastic. It's the story of Malala. I talked a lot about this in my Diverseathon vlog, so if you haven't seen that, I'll link it. But yeah, I was kind of all emotional and a mess after reading this because it's both really hugely infuriating and upsetting, and it's also really empowering and really wonderful to hear her story, and I think she's an incredible young lady. And I was totally hooked into this book once I started it, and totally in awe of her as a person, and she's just fantastic. And she's younger than me, and she's done so much, and she's been globally recognised, and yet she still can't go to her own country, and it's devastating and heartbreaking. So I actually donated to her charity, the Malala Fund. I'll put a link to it below if you guys want to check it out. But after reading this, I had to. And I would hugely recommend that you guys read this. It is non-fiction. It's the story of her life when she stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. So definitely one to check out if you are into non-fiction, or even if you're not and you just want to try something hard-hitting and emotional, then this is a fantastic, fantastic book. That is everything I read. I've tried to go through that quickly because otherwise we'd be here all night, but there is a ton of stuff that I read this month. I don't know how many pages it equates to. A lot is the answer. Yeah, I had a good reading month. I definitely did. I'd love to hear what your best book of the month was and why. If you participated in Diverseathon, did you find anything particularly exciting from that? And do let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I just mentioned and what you thought and what you rated them. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.